Oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't film it this time. Okay, so today I thought I would stop gatekeeping my travel hacks, tips, everything, whatever, that I've learned over 7 years of solo travel. I have been gatekeeping a lot of these, specifically one, and I'm gonna be nice today and actually just make that number one. It's gonna be the first one I tell you, so you don't have to like wait till the end of the video and like and subscribe. I'm gonna share 10 tips, tricks that I've learned over traveling for 7 years alone. Yeah, 10. A lot are going to be specific to, not a lot, I would say it's half and half. So half of them are kind of specific to Canada / North America, traveling to Europe. I'm sure all of them could somewhat be applied to like the entire world, but I'm going off my own experience and things I have learned, so they aren't gonna like be for every single place in the entire world, for every single country. No, like I'm Canadian, I've been to Europe a lot. So, number one, the one I've been gatekeeping forever, the one that has changed my entire life, that has allowed me to travel as much as I have, because without this, I don't think I would have done half the trips that I've done. So number one, the one I've been gatekeeping for 7 years, it is the app called skipplagged. This app has saved my life. This app is also the reason that I can't stop traveling. Basically, you just put in the city you want to leave from. If you want to leave from a specific airport, that's fine. With traveling on a budget, if you want to save money, you gotta be flexible. Yeah, you just put in the city you want to leave from, the city you want to go to. If you want specific airports, fine. But put those in, and then you put in like the days you want to be gone for, or like the time you want to travel for, and a little graph will pop up at the bottom, and you can drag it to like the cheapest time to fly. Again, please be flexible, because you're not going to get the exact date that you want. It might be 1 or 2 days different, but you will probably save. One time I saved $1,000 because I just moved it like 2 days. So I have gone round trip to Europe for, the cheapest I've ever done a round trip for is $550 Canadian. A couple months ago when I was in Italy, I did a one-way ticket, and the one-way was like $250, I think, Canadian. And then because I had a meltdown and then booked a ticket 48 hours before I left, with that trip home was $700 Canadian. But again, like, just don't have a meltdown, so you'll be fine. That app is everything to me. I'm putting it out there into the world. There you go. You're probably gonna be addicted to travel now. You're welcome. Number 2. This. Just get this. Majority of us have, actually I think it's more of a North American thing to have Apple over Android. I think. Because a lot of Europeans I meet, they like typically have an Android. But just get this. Don't get this if you don't have to. This makes you look poor, and we don't want to look poor, okay? It's also just, it's like, it's clunky, it's like whatever. It does the trick, it does. But this is just so much nicer. And then I will travel with, for my phone, I'll have this, and then the MacBook charger is obvious, but yeah, I'll have this, and then just a USB one. This is just so much better. I don't take this whole box with me, I just, whatever country I'm going to, I just take that. Number 3, this one is, again, this is one of the points that's for North America to Europe specifically, which is the app Trainline. So Europeans know about this. They're gonna be like, what? How do you not know about this? Shut up. We're idiots over here. And over here, public transportation isn't as much of a thing as it is over in Europe. And I get it, because it's so shit over here. But my fellow North Americans, do not sleep on public transportation over in Europe. It is everything. Trainline is flawless. Love it so much. It's all I used when I lived in the UK, every time I've traveled Europe, especially Italy. Italy is travel it by train. Don't sleep on public transportation. I don't care that it makes you look poor over here. It's normal over there. Number 4 is hostel world. That also kind of goes to like another point of like staying in hostels. I personally love hostels, especially with solo travel. It gets really lonely, so it's important by staying in hostels you meet new people from all over the world, and it's so cool to share stories and make friends and go do cool things, experience cool things together. I also personally love traveling with a kitchen, and hostels provide that, and I love it. And this specific app, it shows you reviews by people that have stayed there, how many people have stayed there, pictures. But again, I know people think like hostels are like dirty and gross and scary and all the horror stories you've heard, but just do your research and I promise you, you won't have those experiences. I mean, I did have one scary experience, but because I was in a room with other people, it was under control. Number 5, keep all your travel apps in a folder on your phone. Just do it. Don't be a messy bitch. Just keep them all together. I personally was using so many airlines, bike renting things, scooter renting things, and I just needed it all on my phone. And especially like I had like an EasyJet flight and then a Ryanair flight, and I genuinely would have forgot about them because I don't put things in my calendar. Number 6. Yeah, number 6. I get this a lot when people ask about my traveling. I'm like, oh no, I do it alone. And the majority of people, they say, oh my God, how could you do that? That's so scary, blah, blah, blah. I promise you, because of these things, it's not that scary. The only reason it's scary is because you've never done it. Anything we've never done, it's always a little bit intimidating. It is so easy to solo travel and addicting when you realize you don't have to like worry about someone else's needs. If they like what you're doing, you don't have to wait on anyone. I hate waiting on people. Like, fucking hurry up. That's just more advice. Number 7, and this is another one that's specific to North America. Specifically Canada. I know the States is getting better with this, but basically in Canada, our phone plans are fucked. So drop your SIM, bring one of these, and drop your SIM. I think this was prepaid, so again, way more expensive than like phone plans. I think this was €60 for 40 gigabytes of data. I personally like Vodafone for Europe because it's quite universal. So if I switch countries, it was good. Don't go to the kiosks in the airport either. They are more expensive. I typically land in the morning in Europe. Well, you always land in the morning. I'll just go out like exploring the city, and the first cell phone place I hit, I'll just go grab a SIM. Number 8, I know I said I don't want you to look poor, but listen. This is the one exception. These headphones. I do not care if you have to sacrifice your firstborn child. You need these headphones. These obviously are for the airplane to watch movies, by the way. I think they sell headphones on the plane $10 Canadian? Was it Canadian? Oh my God, what currency was I in when I was in the middle of the ocean? I don't even know. Way too expensive. And they're like the nasty ones that like were attached to like Walkman. Because of these headphones that I've kept for 13 years, I was able to watch Shrek 2 10 times on my flight home. I say no more. Say no more. Anyway, number 9, I don't know what they're called. Me also trying to learn French when I don't even know how to speak English. Like the backpacker backpacks, like my Patagonia. Patagonia is like one of the brands. There's plenty of brands. I personally love Patagonia. I am obsessed with mine. It has saved me so much money on check bags. It made me not overpack. I didn't have to worry about my luggage getting lost, and when you travel from city to city so quickly, and a lot of like budget airlines, they don't, like Air Canada, Air Transit, the bigger airlines, yes, they bring your luggage to you, but a lot of the budget ones, I don't think they do. I just didn't want to have to worry about losing my shit, so I just love always having it on me. I don't have to worry about it. That also being said, packing cubes are good too inside your Patagonia or whatever backpack you have. Last one, number 10. It is such an educational experience. And that's such an obvious one. But for example, like things like I just never thought I didn't know. Does that make sense? For example, people always told me Canadians are so nice. Oh my God, they're so nice. Like, as soon as I would say I was Canadian, they're like, oh my God, like I love Canadians, they're so nice. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because like Americans I've met have been nice. Like, it's free to be nice. Like, don't be a shitty person. Like, I just don't get it. And then, I mean, I slightly have seen this in my travels, but the big like kick in the face was going to Italy, and that was when I realized how nice Canadians are. No shade to Italians, I love you guys. And I know I probably just ran into really shitty people, especially being in big cities. I realize it's like maybe a little bit of a culture thing, but I probably just ran into really shitty people. Like one time I was sitting on some like steps, and some guy just started kicking me. Like, I was drinking a Fanta and he just started kicking the shit out of me. And he basically told me in Italian that I was in his way. But it just made me appreciate Canada for how nice everyone is. How I could like be walking down the street and just go up to someone and start a conversation, and they would be so nice about it and would want to talk to me. And that's just something I didn't realize I took for granted. There's so many things like that, but then there's also so many things where you're like, public transportation, especially in Canada, is so bad. Anyone who has tried to take the TTC in Toronto know exactly what I'm talking about. So you start to develop this unbiased view on the world, and it's nice, because I think a lot of issues people have, something I don't like about someone is when they think that they have everything they could ever want out of life in their tiny small town. Is that mean to say? I don't care. Anyway, the world is huge. Life is not that serious. Put your Crocs in sport mode and do it. So, yeah, that's my 10 tips. I hope you got at least something out of this. I hope, at least I'm confident with skipplagged that people will enjoy that, but I've been gatekeeping all that for so long. It's out there in the world. Someone else can go travel freely and on a budget now. So here you go, my gift to you. Oh my God. It's so funny, I'm supposed to be working now. Okay.